In a recent Metro article focusing on the most boring places on Earth, Slovakia's capital Bratislava was placed at number 3 on the list. Being ranked behind 2 American cities would make it the most boring place in Europe, but is this really true? Let's find out.
Hello and welcome to another video, this time from the Slovakian capital of Bratislava, where you join me regretting my life decisions, climbing up another big old hill on the way to Bratislava Castle.
And that was about my 5th take of the intro at various points on the hill while climbing. At least now we're already close to the spectacular views.
If you've been following this trip, you'll know that I've already been to Prague and Vienna, making other videos which you can see on the channel. This is the last one from this particular Central European trip. And if you followed the weather on all of them, 32-33 degrees Celsius every day, blazing sunshine. Today, it's actually gone cloudy this afternoon, but the humidity has not dropped at all.
And here's that stunning view over the Danube and Bratislava's famous UFO Bridge. Worth the climb, but there's still a little further to go.
So in today's video, we're going to have a look around the outskirts of the castle and then head down into the old town to see what we can find there, and probably also over to the UFO Bridge as well. Let's see how much stuff we can pack into one day in Bratislava.
So you can pretty much circle the grounds at the top of the castle hill, and if there's a tunnel, rude not to go through it really.
One thing to say about Bratislava so far is it's teeming with bugs. I tend to be the sort of person that gets a lot of bug bites anyway. Must just be my sweat or smell. Even in my days of backpacking and in hostels, I would always be the person who, like, somebody else in the room would say, oh yeah, I always get bitten too. And then the next day I would have like 20 bites and they'd be like, wow, for the first time ever I didn't get any. And I'm like, yeah, because I got them all, great. But on this trip actually in Vienna and Prague, hardly had any, only maybe 2 or 3. We've got quite a few going on now in Bratislava, quite a few on my legs and ankles, so that's kind of annoying. But other than that, it is a really beautiful city. I've been here once before in 2009, so a long time ago, and it's a really relaxing and easy place to visit.
Yeah, I definitely sound really relaxed. Anyway, this is the Slovakian National Parliament building, which was founded in 1993. Interesting position right next to the castle. Through the grounds we reach the castle itself. Bratislava Castle, with its massive rectangular size and shape, has been a dominant feature in the city for centuries. I definitely sat and admired it from the benches for a while whilst catching my breath. There's a little souvenir shop just through the gate, and then it's up the ramp to check out another spectacular view. I had wished for a clearer day to show off the view at its best, but still, not a bad little setting. Guess some kind of mini parade or stage show goes on down here. Around the other side of the castle there are plenty of places to chill and hang out, including cafes, restaurants and lots of grass verges, perfect for a picnic. There are also more great views down over the old town and further across into the city, including more of the iconic UFO Bridge. And now for something I enjoy much more than walking uphill, that's right, walking downhill.
I'm actually always struck by how green the Danube River is in Bratislava. It really looks like a sort of darkish green in a weird way. I don't know if it's because of the landscape around it is kind of reflecting it that colour, or whether it actually is that, or something to do with underneath. Let me know if you're a river specialist in the comments. Anyway, we're going to go down the way that we came in and go past the bus station and then a couple of other things in the old town. So if you're getting a bus to Bratislava, it is a useful place to bus from because the airport's got cheap flights. You'll want to know where this is. The city actually feels a lot quieter today, which is a Thursday, than it did yesterday on a Wednesday when I arrived. I guess there's probably no specific reason for that. But I'm sure once we get into the old town, there'll be more crowds of people around.
Loving this cute terrace bar at the top of the graffitied wall, really nice little spot for checking out the views over the city. And here we're heading down to one of the bus stops, Most SNP. Located right under the highway bridge, this is a common stop used by bus companies as it's right next to the old town, and it's where I arrived in Bratislava on a bus from Vienna. Heading into the old town, we're greeted by some street installations, a beautiful church, and a few of the many quaint little bars and restaurants that line Bratislava Old Town streets. From here, we're going to cross one of the main squares, dunk ourselves under a water street fountain, yes, it is much hotter than it looks on the screen, and head down towards the Danube River. As you can see, there are many transport options to move around Bratislava, cute little buses, trams and ferries. There are plenty of options to head to other cities by river ferry too. We'll head back into the old town later, but for now we're going to follow the riverbank towards something a bit more modern. No, not the beer bike, but more on that in a moment. The Eurovea, or I guess Eurovea, is a business, retail and residential complex opened in 2010 and its development cost a whopping €350 million. The shopping centre is actually huge with a wide variety of stores. I love that this outside water fountain at ground level forms the roof of the lower floor. Makes it look like it's constantly raining. Reminds me of being at home in the UK. And here's the good old beer bike in action. Has anyone been on one of these? Is it actually fun, or is it just a lot of effort pedalling whilst trying to drink?
Okay, so we're heading away from that marina shopping area thing, place, whatever it is, towards what's meant to be a beautiful blue church. It looks as though the weather is about to be fully on the turn. It's raining a little bit, which, to be honest, it's most welcome. There's a little bit of a breeze, and after the last week or so of weather, bring me the rain.
And with that, we've reached the beautiful blue church of Bratislava. Seems as though I'm more excited about the change in weather though.
In the words of Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, rain on me. Well, not too much, I don't want to get absolutely drenched. That wouldn't be good. But yeah, a little bit of rain on me, please.
And the less said about that, the better. Anyway, the blue church is officially known as the Church of St. Elizabeth and can be found in the eastern part of the old town. Well worth checking out if you get the opportunity.
Alrighty, so we're going to head back towards the old town, which I think is this way. At least my phone map says it is. This would be a really nice area to have an apartment. It seems actually really cute. Not too upmarket, but just nice. The cool church. There's lots of like bars sort of just sunk under the pavement level. It's kind of Edinburgh vibes in a way. But yeah, this is a good area between the sort of shopping marina-y area and the old town area. Very nice.
Anyone know what sort of price apartments sell for in Old Town Bratislava? I'd imagine it's not cheap.
There's definitely a kind of eerie, calm before the storm vibe in these streets. Like there's just almost nobody around and it's just dead quiet. I don't know if it's maybe always like this in this particular area, or whether it's everybody's gone inside thinking it's about to tip it down.
We're now back into the central, more touristy part of the old town where people wander the tree-lined streets looking for a place to eat. I'm honestly surprised that this city isn't more popular with British tourists. The flights here from the UK are always pretty cheap, compared to cities of a similar type of size in this part of Europe, and it's just such an easy place to walk around and see everything in a day or two. Maybe it'll catch on eventually. Let's roll right through the old town as the cloudy day surrenders to a rather beautiful sunset. As for the question of whether Bratislava is the most boring city in Europe, I'd say I've definitely been to far more boring places than this. Look how cute it is all lit up at night. Would you spend more than a few days here? To be honest, probably not. I think it's perfect for 2 or 3 days. There are bigger cities with a lot more going on, a lot more tourist attractions, but for a weekend getaway or part of a multi-city trip with nearby places such as Prague, Vienna or Budapest, it's perfect. Do you agree or disagree with Bratislava's place on that list? Are there any places that you think should be at the top of the boring list? Let me know in the comments. And now, with night descending, we just need to find our way out of the old town. I thought as we're on the theme of boring, I should do something that's not so boring and just give you a really threatening and aggressive outro, so here it is.
So as we head through St. Michael's Gate and away from the old town, that's where we're going to leave it for today and for this video, a day/night in the Slovak capital of Bratislava. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, comment, subscribe. The best video for converting subscribers so far seems to be the one where I threaten to quit if nobody subscribes. So I will quit. If you don't subscribe, hit the button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.